Hi, my name is Joey Garofalo, and I'm going to be talking about our coral reefs and why I believe we should be going green in the very near future. I just wanted to start off by saying we've been to the moon and we've landed a rover on Mars, and to be honest, we still, as many people would agree, don't know that much about our own ocean as we do about space. So I just wanted to take this time and make this video so that we could all just think about how close the ocean is to all of us in these continents and why we should know more about them. And the thing is that we're rapidly losing our oceans. Scientists have found that most likely within the next 100 years, a lot of our stony corals, which are the harder corals, are just going to die off because of the nutrients and the gases that are coming into the ocean and essentially killing our reefs. I also want to speak about how our reefs do give a lot of business to the businesses around us and the communities. If we were to talk about the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, there's businesses that thrive off solely the coral reefs. That people go there, the boats take people fishing out there, they have scuba trips and snorkeling. So that's a multi-million-dollar business, and it's not only in Australia, it's all around the world. It's in Belize, New Guinea, India, the Philippines, Fiji, Indonesia, and there's many, many more places where this is happening as well, where the surrounding communities thrive off of this tourism that they get from the coral reefs. So it is very important to us, and once more, this is my fish tank in back of me, and I really do have a passion for it. Every single coral I have is from a different part of the world, and I really grow it from a tiny piece. I have corals that I've had since this big, and now they've gotten this big, and I find it fascinating to watch them grow and thrive in my tank. But the thing is, I really do work hard to get my tank to grow and have everything adapt to it. So when we have the gases emitted into the air, the greenhouse effect, all those gases do reflect back down into the ocean. It acts as a sponge, and it doesn't allow the corals to breathe correctly, and they can't reproduce, and in essence they die. I have a piece of a dead coral that I got once from out in the reef. I'm looking for it right now. But anytime I see that, it really does hurt me because I feel like we're losing our reefs. I try to go whenever I get a new piece of coral to get one that's not doing so well. I'll go to a fish store. You know, we have a lot of fish stores that are opening up, and they have business off this as well. And there's some pieces that don't do so great, and I like to take those into my tank. I feel like it's a good deed if I can get them to thrive, and it makes me feel good. But anyways, this is a piece of a dead coral. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it's kind of sad to me to see how they don't do so well when any little water parameter is not good. This piece of coral used to be as bright green as this brightest piece of coral right here, and now it's dead. And I've seen videos and like a bunch of documentaries on our coral reefs where the entire, I don't know, maybe 100 meters long is just bleached out like this of corals that used to once be that orange and green and that metallic pink, just gorgeous colors to me, and I can't believe how in nature those can be found. So I often find myself looking for those just really weird colors that you don't see that often, that you can only see in our reefs. So once again, I just wanted to bring this back to the business aspect because I know a lot of people are interested in how it makes money and everything. Well, it does. Once again, we talked about the surrounding communities, how they thrive off the business, the restaurants, the hotels. And I just feel that everybody should go more green. This way we can save not only those businesses that are thriving right now, that survive basically because of the coral reefs, but we can actually save the coral reefs and have those for future generations. Because once again, 100 years isn't too long from now, and the past 30 years our reefs have rapidly been decreasing. You can tell that everything I have here is just a little fragment that's been from the ocean, but there's some pieces that I have here that I've traced back, and they're no longer in that part of the ocean where it came from. So I probably have not the last piece, because it grows and people frag it out with aquaculture, which is basically a piece that you'll get from the ocean, and someone will grow it out in their tank and they'll cut it, which is basically called fragging, which is a fragment of a coral, and they'll pass it off to other people. We call them reefers, and they can grow it in their tank as well. So I really like doing that, and You know, some of these corals are different price ranges. They come from all over the world, and depending on how rare they are. But I find them all special, even the cheap ones. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but these red ones are super bright to me, and they're not that expensive. But I find them one of the prettiest corals in my tank, and I enjoy just watching them grow. I got them from a single polyp. I probably have about 25 now. It's taken me about a year to grow them. And to grow 24 polyps in a year isn't too long, but I feel like that is a long time when things are dying off quicker than they're growing. So I'd like to just take you guys and see my tank really quick so you guys can see what I see in my tank, and maybe it would just inspire somebody to go more green, whether it be just throw away that or recycle some piece of plastic or something. So here we go, I'm going to bring you here. This is my tube anemone. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's really pretty and flows. And below that I have some corals called xenia, and they're called pulsing xenia. While I do have some flow going through there, they naturally do that in the wild. They just pulse like that. That is not anything that my water is doing. I find that pulsing incredible. And I have a frog spawn right here. The lights I have on here are LEDs and T5s. I try to replicate the sun as well as possible. This right here is a toadstool leather. That's my sailfin tang. They come from the Red Sea. It's very salty. And I'm just going to take you guys around. Some of my larger corals have taken me a long time to grow. This right here is a torch. It's similar to an anemone, but not. An anemone would be what a clownfish would host to. And this is my clownfish right here. He's a special clown. He's called a Picasso clown. These are my favorite zoanthids. They're called salted agaves. I don't know why, but they're really pretty. And here's a big colony of zoos. I'd say this colony took about 3 years to grow. And once again, I try really hard to mimic the ocean and all the minerals that are in it so that my corals can thrive. But when one little level is off, I can definitely see a change in how they open and they don't look as happy. And so when I think about pollution and how it goes into the ocean, I can truly understand how it hurts. And to someone who doesn't normally look at corals and it's in the back of their mind or don't really think about it, it's still there and it's still a true factor. Right in front of you is a rose bubble tip anemone. It's a rainbow, and that's what a clownfish would host to. They go in there and they feel safe. So these are my lights, what I use to try to mimic the sun. They're LEDs. I got 3 120 watt lights and 2 48-inch T5 bulbs. They're 45 watts each. And if you can see all these fish, they have personality. They come up to the glass. And if you see the sailfin tang right here, they'll kind of follow me as I walk around the tank. So they definitely got personality. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys is my filtration system. This right here is a chiller. It keeps my water cool so that they don't get too hot and burn out from the lights. And down here is the equipment I have to try to mimic that as well. This is called a protein skimmer. And the ocean acts as a natural protein skimmer with the bubbles that you see at the beach, and you see all that grime that it's called runoff that you see on the sand. Well, this generates a bunch of bubbles, and the bubbles bring up dirt, and it kind of pulls it in this cup, and I empty that cup. These are reactors. I put carbon in here and stuff to try to keep the water clean and clear. And those are actually mangroves that I have growing with algae, and they eat up phosphates, which are just a bacteria in the tank that's kind of a nuisance, and ammonia. And that's pretty much my reef tank. But just want to thank you guys for watching my video here and why I believe we should go green. This was for my business class at Broward College, and hopefully this does make a difference, even if it's to one person.